The girl encountered a strange scene when crossing the road. A passerby actually passed through her body. The girl was instantly shocked. But before she could figure out what happened, I saw a group of people gathered in the middle of the road. She went over to check in horror. It turned out that the deceased was the person who had just hit him. Then she saw a ghost taking the woman away. When she left, she didn't forget to yell at the girl, as if to warn her not to meddle in other people's business. The reason why girls can see these terrible things, all because of a surgery to restore vision a month ago, and has been blind since she was 5 years old. But fortunately, after waiting for 15 years, finally, a kind-hearted person donated her cornea. Soon the doctor performed a transplant on her. Although my vision is a little blurry after the surgery, but Annie is still very happy. The first thing she did when she took off her blindfold, just run to the mirror and look at yourself. But since it has not yet fully recovered, I can only see a blurry figure. At first she thought everything was normal, but one night, she saw a dark shadow beside the bed of an old lady in the next bed. Not long after, the old man walked out of the ward. Annie originally thought it was a family member coming to visit, but when I think about it, it's already 2 o'clock in the morning, and she shouted a few times. The old man did not respond, so she followed the figure to the corridor, feeling uneasy. At this time, she found that the old man was getting closer and closer to her, but when she wanted to reach out and touch, but I found that there was no one around. On the next day, and woke up and saw the nurse tidying the bed sheets. She curiously asked where the old lady had gone. The nurse told her the old man died last night, and suddenly felt a chill on her back. Could it be that what I saw yesterday was the old man's ghost? Because after that incident, Anne's mental state has not been very good. The little girl in the next ward often came to chat with her. The girl has leukemia, but she has been very optimistic about the treatment. The two naturally became good friends. When Anne was discharged from the hospital, she took a photo with the little girl. This also laid the groundwork for the next plot. Then Anne, under the arrangement of her sister, back to the band. Although she is blind, but he is also a violinist who thinks he has his own advantages. But when everyone in the band was celebrating her return, and seemed a little uneasy, because she is not used to all this yet, and since I was discharged from the hospital and returned home, she often felt that there were some figures flashing around her, and I am often trapped by a nightmare. But she didn't know yet. All the supernatural events I have encountered are related to these eyes. That day, she was about to go home after finishing her work. I saw a little boy squatting on the ground at the elevator entrance, and was startled instantly. She was worried that the boy might be lost, so I asked him where he lived. But the strange thing is, the boy just kept repeating, "Have you seen my transcript?" At this moment, Annie heard a noise behind her. I didn't expect it would only take a blink of an eye. The little boy disappeared and looked at the quiet corridor. I suddenly had a bad feeling in my heart that evening and dreamed that she came to a strange place. Not only was he trapped by the raging fire, there were even some people she didn't know around her. As the screen keeps changing, and was awakened by this nightmare again. The weird thing is, there were actually scars on her arms. The pain also made her realize, this is not an illusion. So she quickly called her doctor boyfriend. I want to tell her about my recent experience. Unexpectedly, I met a dead woman on the road. Now she is finally sure all this is related to the corneal surgery. In a panic, she walked into a restaurant and urged her boyfriend to come over quickly. But at this moment, the glass in the window began to break, and the recipes on the table started to burn. Just a blink of an eye, there was an explosion in the restaurant's kitchen. Before she could react, I found myself standing in the ruins. Fortunately, my boyfriend arrived in time and immediately told her all these strange things. This was a restaurant just a minute ago. I don't know why it suddenly became a ruin. Seeing her boyfriend looking at her with a puzzled look, and suddenly realized something. As expected, my boyfriend said there was a fire here a few days ago. Dozens of people were accidentally rescued at the scene. But after hearing what Anne said, her boyfriend thought that she might have just lost her life. I haven't adapted to the surrounding environment yet. When I returned that night and met the little boy again, or repeat that sentence, asked Annie if she had seen her report card. But this time Annie doesn't want to care. She knew she might have seen a ghost, so I pretended not to see it. But when she was dodging, the little boy suddenly jumped from the tall building. Annie wanted to stop it, but it was too late because of arm injury and is back in the hospital. Late night, the little girl came towards her. She told Annie that she would be discharged soon and felt happy for her after hearing this. But at this moment, Annie noticed a dark figure standing next to the girl. She couldn't believe this was all real, because the appearance of the black shadow means that the girl has died. She chased the little girl down the corridor, but I watched the little girl disappear in front of me, and couldn't help but burst into tears. But she can't do anything. After a few days, Anne's sister came to pick her up from the hospital, and brought the letter left by the little girl. There is also the only photo of them together. The woman in the photo can be seen, and felt very strange. She asked her sister who the woman in the photo was.
It's you, Sidney. That's not me. Of course it is. Who else would it be?
I heard my sister say that person was me. Anne's face suddenly changed. She ran to the mirror to see herself. I looked at the people in the photo again. It turns out that since she regained her eyesight, what I see in the mirror is another person. She always thought she was that face. At this moment, and finally understood, the girl in the mirror might be the owner of the eye demon.
Sydney. You're scaring me.
What do you see?
So the next day, Annie ran to her boyfriend. I want to find information about the owner of the eye demon, but her boyfriend is Anne's attending physician. He thought that was against the rules. Even if Anne has a good reason, boyfriend's still unwilling to disclose, and is getting ready to go home after get off work in the evening. I pressed the elevator button and wanted to go in, but I saw an old man standing in the corner. Realizing that I might have met you again, he subconsciously looked at the surveillance camera. As expected, the old man was found to be a ghost and was too frightened to go in. At this time, a couple walked into the elevator. After the elevator goes up, and took another step quickly. But when he pressed the floor button, the old man appeared behind me again and was so frightened that she dared not breathe. Unexpectedly, the old man slowly approached her. Then he slowly turned his head. Just when I was about to touch her, the elevator door opened and had no choice but to run out like crazy. I got home and immediately closed the door. She finally broke down. I didn't expect the world after I regained my sight would be so scary. To know the owner of these eyes, what happened, and came to the mirror, tried to talk to the owner of the eye demon.
Who are you? What do you want? I want to help you. But how can I if you won't even tell me?
Then Anne's hands suddenly lost control, and a flash of light flashed through my mind. This time it seems to be in a carriage, but Annie didn't know where that was. I don't understand that girl. What do you want her to know? I don't want to see those horrible scenes anymore, and covered her eyes. Don't dare to see anyone. Seeing Annie in so much pain, her boyfriend is very worried about her condition. She had no choice but to make an exception. Tell Annie the information about the eye demon master. It turns out that the donor's name is Anna, a girl born in Mexico. But there is not much information about her in the file, so the two of them rushed to Mexico that day. According to the other party's hospitalization record, Anne and her boyfriend came to a country farmhouse, see the words painted on the wall, and thought she had seen it in her dream. Then they asked around. The girl's mother was finally found. The first time I saw him, the old woman recognized that those were her daughter's eyes. Then he told in the story of his daughter. It turns out that his daughter Anna has had special abilities since she was a child, has the ability to predict life and death. But because this town is very superstitious, so they all thought Anna was a witch. Even children often bully her. But when the old man was speaking and sees a ghost appear behind her, realizing that the old man was in imminent danger, Annie asked her boyfriend to call an ambulance. After a while, the old man had a heart attack. Soon the boyfriend and the old lady's family sent her to the nearest hospital and walks into Anna's room. I didn't expect to see everything that happened at that time. That day Anna rushed into the factory workshop. I see a ghost behind everyone. She realized something was wrong, so he told everyone that there was going to be a fire in the factory. But no one believed Anna. He angrily drove her out. But there was a fire in the factory. Many people lost their lives because of this. As a result, everyone put all the blame on Anna. Think she brought bad luck to those people. Since then, Anna was completely desperate. Finally, she chose to hang herself in the basement of her home and finally opened the entrance with all her strength. It turned out that Anna was hanging, but even though she tried her best to save, still a step late. She wanted to ask Anna what the omen in the previous carriage meant, but the other party has died. In the end, she didn't get any hints from Anna. Soon she and her boyfriend were ready to drive back. Unexpectedly, we encountered a traffic jam on the way. There was a car accident ahead. My boyfriend joked that he might have to wait here all night, but at this moment, Anne seemed to realize something, so she got out of the car to check the situation. Sure enough, I saw a little girl in the car in front. That had appeared in her mind before. I know this must be some kind of omen. Then she saw countless ghosts boarding the bus. Look at the tanker behind the bus. The license plate number is exactly the same as the one I saw before, and finally understood. This is exactly what Anna wanted to tell herself. Maybe she just wanted to prevent this tragedy. When she turned her head, found a ghost waiting behind the passengers. But no matter what Annie said, everyone refused to get off the bus. See? There's nothing to say, and had to lie and say there was a bomb in the car. I didn't expect this to come out. The people in the car run faster than anything else. At the same time, the little girl's mother saw everyone running, so she left her daughter in the car. Go and see situation by yourself. As a result, as soon as I got out of the car, I was pushed over by people who were rushing for their lives. The little girl also locked in the car as a result. Annie and her boyfriend still evacuating the crowd. At this moment, runaway car rushed forward, ended up hitting the tanker truck directly. In an instant, the tanker truck caught fire. There's going to be an explosion soon. Annie found the little girl still in the car. Fortunately, at the critical moment, the boyfriend directly broke the window and rescued the little girl. But the tanker has exploded. The flying glass shard hit Annie right in the eye. He saved everyone's life at the last minute. It can be regarded as Annie's wish. Although in the end his eyes lost their light again. But there was a smile on his face, because he felt that sometimes it might be happier not to see than to see.